In the frozen heart of 18th century Russia, a land shaped by brutal winters and unyielding faith, life was a constant struggle for survival. For women, this struggle reached its peak in the act of childbirth. Long before hospitals, before anesthesia, before the sterile certainty of modern medicine, bringing a child into the world was not a clinical procedure. It was a gamble with death itself. In an age where surviving even one birth was seen as a miracle, one woman's story defies belief, pushing the very limits of human endurance. Her name was Valentina Vassilyeva, and her legacy is etched not in monuments of stone, but in a biological record so extreme it continues to baffle scientists and historians today. Valentina was not royalty. She was not a noble woman, nor was she granted the privilege of education. She was a simple Russian peasant, wife to a farmer named Fyodor Vassilyeva. Her life was one of poverty, piety, and relentless physical labor, indistinguishable from the millions of others toiling on the vast, unforgiving Russian landscape. Yet, hidden within this ordinary existence was an extraordinary, almost terrifying, biological destiny. Official records, preserved by the local monastery and later reported to the government in Moscow, document a feat that seems to belong more to legend than to history. Valentina Vassilyeva gave birth to 69 children. This staggering number wasn't accumulated over several marriages or lifetimes. It was the result of a single woman's fertility within a single marriage over the course of about 40 years, from roughly 1725 to 1765. She endured 27 separate labors, and the way these children arrived makes her story even more astonishing. Valentina's body seemed to operate on a different plane of existence. She didn't give birth to single babies, one at a time. The record states she delivered 16 pairs of twins, then 7 sets of triplets, and finally, an almost incomprehensible 4 sets of 27 pregnancies, 69 children. Let's pause and truly absorb what this meant. This was an era where the infant mortality rate was devastatingly high. It was common for a family to lose half or more of their children before they reached adulthood. And for the mother, every single pregnancy was a life-threatening ordeal. There were no doctors on standby, no sterile instruments, no access to pain relief beyond folk remedies or fervent prayer. Births often took place on the dirt floors of humble wooden izbas, the small single-room homes of Russian peasants. The only assistance came from village midwives, whose knowledge was a mix of practical experience and ancient superstition. Each time Valentina went into labor, she faced the specter of death. The risk of postpartum hemorrhage, infection, or sheer exhaustion was immense. After delivering twins, triplets, or quadruplets, the physical toll would have been unimaginable. Her body would have been depleted of iron, calcium, and vital nutrients. Yet, she recovered. She survived, and she became pregnant again. And again, and again. A relentless cycle of creation and risk repeated 27 times. Of her 69 children, an incredible 67 are said to have survived infancy, a testament perhaps to a combination of genetic hardiness and a mother's fierce, unending caddy. So, how was this possible? Historians and geneticists who have studied her case theorize that Valentina Vassilyeva likely had a rare genetic predisposition causing hyperovulation, meaning she released multiple eggs during each cycle. This, combined with an extraordinary physical constitution and perhaps an iron will, allowed her to endure what should have been impossible. But even genetics can't fully capture the human side of the story. What was her life truly like? Imagine the reality of her daily existence. A home overflowing with children, the constant noise, the endless work. There was no time for rest, no moment of peace. Life was a perpetual cycle of pregnancy, childbirth, nursing, and raising a household that was, by itself, the size of a small village. The physical strain is one thing, but what about the emotional and psychological weight? The fear that must have accompanied each new pregnancy, knowing the risks she was facing. The grief of losing to children, a small number by the standards of the time, but a profound loss for any mother. Her body was a vessel, constantly pushed beyond any reasonable limit, dedicated to the singular purpose of procreation. Her husband, Fyodor, eventually remarried after Valentina was no longer able to have children. With his second wife, he went on to father another 18 children, bringing his total to 87, earning him his own place in the record books. But it is Valentina's story that truly captivates us. Her name barely survived the annals of history. While kings, tsars, and generals were immortalized for their battles and decrees, Valentina, the peasant woman, was remembered for her quiet, biological war of endurance. Her body achieved what armies could not. It populated a corner of the world through sheer, raw life force. Her story forces us to confront a difficult and profound question. Was this a miracle of nature, a testament to the incredible resilience of the female body, or was it a quiet tragedy? A life consumed by a biological imperative hidden behind staggering numbers. Because behind every statistic, there was pain. Behind every birth, there was fear. And behind the world record, there was a woman whose body carried the weight of generations. Today, Valentina Vassilyeva's name is still cited in official records and books of world records as the most prolific mother in recorded history. Her case remains a medical marvel, a statistical anomaly that continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. But history often focuses on the what and forgets to ask the why, or more importantly, at what cost. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as incredible as we did, please like, subscribe, and join us again as we uncover more forgotten chapters of history.